Learn anything 10x faster, Feynman Technique explained. Have you ever spent hours studying something, only to forget it the next day? You're not alone. Over 65% of people report forgetting what they studied within just 24 hours. But what if the real problem isn't your memory? It's the way you're trying to learn. Today, you'll discover a method so powerful, so simple, and yet so misunderstood, that it could literally transform the way you learn anything, from math and science to business, relationships, or even personal growth. This is the Feynman Technique, a genius trick used by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman to learn faster and deeper than anyone else around him. By the end of this video, you won't just understand how it works, you'll use it in real life, and that's going to change everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a smarter way to learn. Let's dive in. Who was Feynman? Why does this matter? Richard Feynman wasn't just a physicist. He was a rebel of thought. A man who believed that if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. He worked on the Manhattan Project, won the Nobel Prize. But more than that, he was known for breaking down quantum physics. Yes, quantum physics, using analogies like spinning plates and jello. His secret? He didn't memorize. He understood. He treated knowledge like a Lego set. If the structure fell apart, he rebuilt it until it stood on its own. That's the core of the Feynman Technique. But how does it actually work? The 4 steps of the Feynman Technique. Let's break it down. Step 1. Identify the concept. Write down exactly what you want to learn. Be specific, neuroscience. But how the brain changes with learning. Step 2. Teach it to a child. Write out or explain the concept in the simplest words possible. Imagine you're talking to a curious 12-year-old. No jargon, no fluff. If you start using fancy words, stop. That's a sign you're hiding behind vocabulary instead of understanding. Step 3. Find your gaps. Where did you struggle to explain? Where did you use vague words like thing or stuff? That's where your understanding breaks. Now go back to your books, videos, or resources and learn again. Step 4. Simplify and create analogies. Use stories, metaphors, or examples from your own life to explain the idea. If you can say, "It's like when you," and the person nods, you're doing it right. Repeat the process until you can explain the concept so clearly that anyone listening would say, "Wait, why didn't someone explain it like that before?" Science behind why this works. Here's the neuroscience. When you teach, you activate multiple regions of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, and the cerebellum, turning passive knowledge into active recall. It's called retrieval-based learning, and it's proven to build stronger synaptic connections than rereading or highlighting. Even more, explaining to someone, even if it's just a pretend student, forces your brain to organize information logically. It exposes the illusions of competence. That, "Oh, I totally get this," followed by blanking out in the exam. Gone, because Feynman learning makes you confront what you don't know and repair it. Real-life example, learning neuroplasticity. Let's do this together. Suppose you want to learn about neuroplasticity. Step 1. You write, "How does the brain change with experience?" Step 2. You say, "The brain isn't fixed. It changes when you learn something new, like a road that builds new paths every time you take a different route." Sounds okay, right? Step 3. But then, you pause. You realize, wait, what actually changes? What's a synapse? How do habits affect it? That's your gap. So you go back, read more, maybe watch a visual explanation. You learn. When you repeat a behavior, the neurons involved fire together more often, making the connection stronger. This is called Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Step 4. Now, you reframe it. Imagine your brain is like a forest. Every time you walk a trail, let Wes say you practice piano, the trail gets clearer. The more you walk it, the more it becomes a permanent path. Suddenly, neuroplasticity isn't just a word. It's a living image in your mind. That's the magic. Common mistakes to avoid. 1. Skipping the teaching step. If you don't explain it out loud or in writing, you'll think you know it, until reality hits. 2. Using complex language. Big words can hide small understanding. If you can't explain it simply, you're not ready to move on. 3. Rushing through gaps. When you hit a wall, it's not a failure, it's a signal. Pause. Dig deeper. 4. Not repeating the process. This isn't a one-time method, it's a cycle. Every time you revisit and simplify, your brain rewires itself better. How to start today? Action plan. Grab a notebook. Right now. Write one topic you've been struggling to understand. Now. Write a sentence that defines it. Try explaining it in your own words. Spot what's unclear. Research that. Explain it again. Better, clearer, with a metaphor or story. Repeat this every time you learn something new. Create a habit. 1 Feynman breakdown per day. Use voice notes. Teach a friend. Start a mini blog. The point isn't where, it's how. The truth is, you've been learning wrong all along. Not because you're lazy, not because you're slow, but because nobody taught you how to learn. The Feynman Technique is not just a hack, it's a mindset. One that says, if I can't teach it, I don't know it yet. And that's okay, because I can learn. Imagine mastering every book you read, every course you take. Not by memorizing, but by understanding. That's the real superpower. And now, it's yours. Hit that like button, comment what you're going to learn using this method, and share this with someone who's tired of wasting time studying the hard way. Subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you're not here to just consume information. You're here to transform with it. Let's go.